Good day. I'm going to be talking about something very crippling to someone's livelihood. The literal death of an individual. Well, not literally, but, you know. Because there's 3 types of health on the pyramid. Physical, mental, and emotional. And once one of those starts to deteriorate, a part of your body is dying. Because emotional health leads to mental health, and mental health leads to physical health. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not the best at explaining this stuff. So I can only go by my experience. Anyways, let's slowly dive into this topic. So just sit back and relax and open up that head of yours. Depression is a mental disorder characterized by at least 2 weeks of pervasive low mood, low self-esteem, loss of interest in normally enjoyable activities, low energy, and pain without a clear cause are some common symptoms. Those affected may also occasionally have delusions or hallucinations. Some people have periods of depression separated by years, while others nearly always have symptoms present. Major depression is more severe and lasts longer than sadness, which is a normal part of life. The cause of major depressive disorder is believed to be a combination of genetic, environmental, and psychological factors, with about 40% of the risk related to genetics, which in my case is a factor to mine. It sucks. Risk factors include a family history of the condition, major life changes, certain medications, chronic health problems, and substance abuse. It can negatively affect a person's personal life, work life, or education, as well as sleeping, eating habits, and general health. Those currently or previously affected with the disorder may be stigmatized. It's such a beautiful day outside. The birds are chirping. The colorful leaves are slowly falling from the trees as the wind carries them on. The stream is glistening. It's such a beautiful day. But I feel so empty. It's like none of this beauty affects me anymore. I'd rather be in bed, not having to deal with the stressful tasks of the day that consistently overwhelms this beauty. I'm tired. Why can't I enjoy the things I used to? Is there something wrong with me? All the people who I thought were my friends started to withdraw from me. Maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I'm just a bother to them. I should probably withdraw from everyone so I don't bother anyone. It's such a beautiful day outside. I just wish it was inside my head. I guess it's time to go to work or school or whatever you go to, whatever you do. Well, it's been a month now and nothing is different, only worse. All I have are thoughts of the past, thoughts of the future, and thoughts of myself. It's like my life gradually goes into the control of an unknown dread, and I'm too weak to take it back under my control, not even a little. The pain is too much. I'm too tired. I don't even feel like I'm living. I just feel like a decaying, worthless remains of a structure replicating the same actions and movements every day, because that's all that I'm supposed to do.
I hate you. I want you dead. Everyone hates you.
You're worthless. You're boring. You're ugly. You're weak. You're retarded. You're pathetic. You're disgusting. You're useless. You're scary. You're a complainer. You're repulsive. You're unimportant. You're useless. You're pointless. You're meaningless. You're purposeless. You're unmemorable. Nothing matters. You won't be remembered. No one loves you. No one cares about you. No one wants anything to do with you because you're a piece of shit. You're a pathetic loser. Why are you still here? Die. Kill yourself. I hate you so much. You're subhuman. The thoughts won't go away. The voices in my head keep talking. Nothing ever gets better. I was born to feel, and that feeling is pain. All I can do is cry. I hate myself. There's no point in even trying today. I think I'm just gonna call in sick. I just can't. There really is something wrong with me. What am I going to do with myself? As the years pass, my will to live through this putrid agony any longer is absent. I am completely alone with all of this madness. I don't have not even one singular second to breathe. It's too much. Too much for me to handle. I want to die. All I needed was someone. All I needed was some help. But I'm too much of a piece of shit to deserve any of that. This is the end. This is my conclusion. I have failed you, my lord. I am sorry. One could sum it up with a series of notes and the assertion on the chemical effects on the brain and what those effects cause. But I'm not going to be quite so sophisticated. Just gonna use my own experience. Now, when one hears a teenager or young adult use their own experience for this kind of question, many may simply disregard it. This may be due to some sort of opinion pertaining to the line of thought that we are too young or inexperienced, or maybe people my age group making jokes along the lines of, "This essay is so long, kill me now," has given some sort of impression upon how we view the world. No, when I say I'm using my own experience, I've got a firm basis for being able to say that I am, in fact, experienced, as are many others of my age group. I felt many things. On some days, I felt mechanical. Felt like I could get out of bed, brush my teeth, get dressed, and go do things I needed to do for the day. But that was really only if something major happened to give me that energy, and which was very rare. The amount of emotion involved in my actions would be that of if a list was followed by a droid. Or I could just sit in my room and show the same lack of enthusiasm. After all, why should I go and do those things anyways? Having depression is like drowning while everyone else around you is breathing. You're struggling to survive, and yet everyone else around you seems to have no problems at all. If there was a color to describe depression, it wouldn't be blue, and it wouldn't be black. It would be gray. Everything around you, for as far as you could see, would be washed in a shade of gray. It's like watching one of those old black and white television shows. There's no color at all. Nothing seems to brighten up your day. You feel hopelessly alone. You could be surrounded by 100 people, and yet somehow you would still feel the awful feeling of loneliness. There could be a ton of noise surrounding you, but all you would hear is the endless onslaught of your thoughts, the thoughts in your head, taunting you, like you're the next thing they want to destroy. What used to be happy memories have all turned dark, replaced by nothing but pain and despair. A lot of times you feel as though you are nothing. You feel nothing. You could be the saddest you've ever been, and you wouldn't be able to muster a single tear. It's like you've lost all sense of emotion, and that scares the shit out of you. Other times you feel too much. It's an onslaught of emotion that you didn't even know was there. It's like an emotional tsunami, consuming you without warning. The pain that you feel is so much that sometimes it physically hurts you. Your heart literally aches, and every breath you take is a struggle. Your heart can't understand why or how you have wandered into a world of eternal suffering. Pain is all you see these days, and it paints your world. You want to scream. Hell, you try to, but it feels as though your cries for help have fallen upon deaf ears of this world. The pain and suffering is written plainly on your face. Your eyes look like they've seen a lifetime of despair, which has amassed to unfathomable suffering. But even so, you hide your pain with a smile on your face. People ask how you're doing, and you say, "I'm fine," when really you feel like you're dying inside. You feel like the whole entire world is against you, which makes you feel trapped, like a cornered animal desperate to escape. And while most of the time you can successfully escape from social situations, it seems impossible to escape from the intruding thoughts that fill your mind. It's true that you can be your own worst enemy. Being alone with your dark thoughts is a recipe for disaster, and yet, where else are you to go? It seems like no matter who you are with or where you are, there is no escape from the thoughts that haunt your mind. Feeling trapped often leads to doing things that you'll regret later on in life. Your body eventually becomes a mass of scars, both on the inside and the outside. A picture of the pain that you're experiencing, the pain that seems endless and everlasting. You feel as though there's nothing you can do. The darkness has enveloped you. No matter how much you tried to fight it, depression has consumed you, and it will continue to do so until you give it into it or you have been pulled from its clutches. It's a pretty common thread. I'm worthless. Everyone thinks I'm a horrible burden. So on and so forth. Everyone in the world is happy but you, and in the end, you are a worthless piece of shit that doesn't belong in this otherwise glorious and happy place. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping. You are lying there on your bed in the same unlaundered pair of pajamas. wondering why you're even allowed to keep living any longer. Some meteor strike or lightning bolt should be reserved for people like you, because you are taking up space and oxygen and food and other resources that real, happy, productive people need. You have all these possibilities and none of them seem interesting. You could do some art, play some music, but that just doesn't feel right. You could play video games or read a book. Well, what's the point? There's no real benefit to all of it, but passing the time. You get up and make lunch, but no, you're not that hungry. If you close your eyes, time will pass a little faster. You can lie there, that works. It doesn't require any active effort to do something fruitless. Everything is as empty and fruitless as lying and staring out of your window at the clouds and the shifting shadows of tree branches. And so why do anything else? Standing up out of your bed requires the same amount of bodily effort as climbing several flights of stairs. Managing to get dressed and walk outside is like running a race. Heaven help you if you try to go to a store or a friend's house if you even have them. That may as well be on the other side of the continent. Every step is heavy, every muscle motion requires 10 times the work it used to. Exercise becomes difficult, and control of your body expires quickly. You become clumsier. You daze out randomly, daydreaming, even dozing. You feel most at home when you are entirely relaxed. So you lie down and don't get up again until something like your bladder compels you. You have no idea why your brain and body are doing this. You don't want to feel sad. Nobody wants to feel shitty and tired and empty all the time. People will look at you and say, "It's like you don't want to get better." Those people are idiots. You truly, deeply, from the bottom of your soul, have no idea why this has happened or what to do. It's not logical. It makes no sense. You woke up like this, or it crept in over time, or something like that. It's like a fog, a force of nature that sweeps in, occludes everything, and there's not one thing you can do about it from where you stand. Trying feels like taking a paper fan outside and trying to blow away the morning mist. Someone has tied a puppet strings to your brain and is playing this hideous dance with it, and you don't have the scissors to cut them away. The dance doesn't make sense. It's arbitrary and rhythmless. If you had any sort of reasoning behind it, you could take control, but you don't. You can't find a way out. You lie there at night keening into your pillow like a wounded animal, making all sorts of noises that no human being should be able to make. You claw and scratch at the sheets or at yourself as the pain wrings itself out through the bodily expression. The tears won't stop. You don't know why. All you know is that it hurts. It really and truly hurts. And you think if it goes on any longer, you're going to die right there, bleed out on the floor. So you grab up your phone and you call someone at 4 a.m. and you beg them to please just make it stop. You bury yourself in books and movies. In my case, it's video games and movies. Because at least then you can imagine something else than yourself. You read non-stop. You have to have your fix. It's like an addiction. No, more like a life support machine. Other worlds, fantasies of happiness and real experiences that aren't your horrible existence become the iron lung keeping air flowing in and out. You're alive because you can't stop thinking for a while. Your friends come over to comfort you if you have them, because a lot of us don't and are just left to deal with this alone. At least I sure didn't. Their stories keep you sane and well, like dialysis for all the toxins in you. Your mind has failed at being independent, and now it relies on 1,000 little machines to keep itself running. You rely on one machine until another comes to save you. You read books until your friends come by. You stretch out your time with friends until you have to bury yourself in the movie again, just to keep thought of real life away. Your friends can't keep this up forever. You fall further and further, and you eventually start dropping commitments. You have become that person. The flake that everyone knows will back out. People start getting annoyed at you. Annoyed at how they have to spend so much time just keeping you afloat. Annoyed at how often you're causing them trouble by constantly disappearing and backing out of appointments and so on. Or the opposite, by constantly trying to get their attention. Your workplace gets annoyed at your lack of productivity, and then you can't take it anymore. And you want to scream at them, grab them by the throat and shake them. 'Cause it's not your fault! You start having twisted fantasies, the ones where you walk up to that person who keeps telling you they can't do this anymore, you're just too unreliable, putting a gun to your head and pulling the trigger, just to make them know for once that fuck them. Your problems are real, damn it, real, and they better fucking respect that. And when you're gone, they'll fall to their knees and cry, and they'll say that they wish they had understood, that they didn't mean to be so unkind, and the scar on their heart from their own failure will remain fresh and knotted for eternity. And then you shake your head out of the daydream, and you wonder, why have you turned into such a horrible person? Someone who even considers ending their own life just to spite another human being. Then it crimps back in, the knowledge that the world is getting fed up with you, and the cycle begins again. You start thriving off these daydreams, because at the very least, if you can't be happy, you can throw caution to the wind and get the petty, oddly satisfying of revenge buried under all those layers of morality that are being worn and flaking away. It's just a fantasy, right? And it helps pass the time. It feels like forever. You have forgotten what it's like to truly be joyful. You can imagine it, but it's not really you in those thoughts. This is who you are. This is your life. This is you. It feels like you have only one thing truly under your power, your existence. You cannot choose what life throws at you. Your brain and body have betrayed you. Your friends have worn away, and you fled from your job or school, environment, and any commitments you have. You know, right now, that the one thing you can do to take back power over your life is to get rid of your life. You don't have to put up with this anymore. You don't have to suffer. Life isn't fair, and there's no way around that. Says who? You can get off that ride anytime you want. You can stand at the top of the roller coaster, declare that you don't want anything to do with this bullshit any longer, and jump. You and you alone can choose to spite the entire world, the structure of life in the cosmos, and you can say, I choose to stop living in an imperfect, unfair, horrible world. You can leave anytime you want. It feels empowering. You can jump whenever you want. It's not worth it to jump. My journey to fight depression came to a few realizations. Depression causes strong, wrongful desires. I wanted to torture myself. I wanted to feel bad. I wanted to isolate myself from everyone. I wanted to be uncared for. I wanted to hate myself. I wanted to give up. I wanted to let myself be a victim. I wanted to prove how worthless I was, etc. I did not want to get better. It is important to recognize and acknowledge those conflicting desires as much as you want your pain to end and you want your depression to go away. There is a part of you that is fighting to stay depressed and seek pain. And you have to fight that part of you. Depression uses your healthy and unhealthy desires as weapons against you. And while having wrongful desires as referenced above, you want all the opposites too, which are the healthy desires. For instance, you want to be loved, but your depression uses your feelings of being worthless to make you believe that you will never be loved. But understand that part of you believes it because you want to believe it, and you will search and or create every reason to support that belief. Remember that when you have depression, you have an impaired mind. Your thoughts are impaired, your reason is impaired, etc. A person actually doesn't need that much to be happy. The basics are the same now as they are thousands of years ago. Many articles, social media and media, etc. today make it appear to be extremely complicated. And worst of all, that you are to blame for all your negative feelings. Don't believe them. The most important factor is to feel that one has a meaningful existence. Some people get it from their careers, others from their family or children, or just some hobby. A person who is living a miserable life will feel miserable. Don't believe all those people who tell you, think your way happy. The experts who say they could be happy in a concentration camp because they have an amazing peace of mind are talking crap. If you live isolated and never meet anyone, don't expect to feel happy, or at least for a while. Materialism and individualism suck. Everything the media tells you is based on lies, and they only write it to sell you, and because of group thinking. If you want to learn something, read the classic thinkers in philosophy and religion. I'm not going to recommend any because everyone comes from a different tradition and culture and have different books that could help, or whatever similar type of media. Make sure to eat reasonably healthily. Get some sun when you can. Get proper sleep if you can. Because I know a lot of you, including me, are probably insomniacs. I suggest you buy some melatonin over the counter. But anyways, let's continue on. And avoid excessive stress. Some will praise mind over matter, but science shows that if the body is like a machine and needs these things, if you only eat crap, you'll feel like crap. Don't drag yourself down too much. It will take time to heal. If you fail one day, just pull yourself up the next day. Don't expect to heal like they say either. Clinical psychology is often based on the misconception that we as humans should go back to some pure childhood state. That's wrong. A person needs a purpose to live first and foremost. You can't remove the bad stuff and be a pure like a child. It works better to learn new stuff and find a purpose with your life rather than dwelling on things in the past. I still have negative emotions in me, but I feel they are a part of me. I don't want someone telling me I have to get rid of them. This is why I don't take any antidepressives. Those pills also have some weird side effects, and studies have shown they're not much better than a placebo. I don't feel comfortable trusting any medical companies with my life, especially after I've tried that medication, and it has only made everything so much worse. So I'm not even going to recommend anything like that. Again though, everyone has different backgrounds. It is normal to feel down sometimes. Depression can be caused by many different factors. Sometimes there could be serious psychological factors behind it that could need therapy. Sometimes there are physical reasons. That's why I avoid giving specific advice. I am also not trying to sell anything. When someone is talking about a quick fix for depression, they're often trying to sell you something. In any case, the road to recovery can be quite long. Some people are virtually born to be depressed by how they grew up and were treated by society. It might require a completely new way of how to live, including philosophy, psychology, social training, and existentialist literature such as religion. There is no quick fix. It's going to take a very long time to recover. A few years, well, depending on your age. Most of you watching this are probably teenagers or young adults, and for people whose minds are still developing, it's easier to recover and it's much faster. That's why I'm doing somewhat better after about 3 years. Usually I'd say to go to the doctor or therapy or take medication for these types of things. But in all honesty, I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to recommend you either. There's only one thing I can recommend because it's really the only thing we can do. Hold on. Just hold on. I love you guys.